And so I want to share with you uh, my realizations of how to deal with such difficult uh, situations where you feel like your back is against the wall. So the thought is how to find you in the most difficult situations in your life. You may notice that when you're going through difficulties in your life, then human beings have a tendency to isolate themselves. And sometimes your so-called friends in the world, who are your friends, they also pull away from you whenever you're having difficulties. Very few people in the world will stick around you and with you when you are having difficulties. Most people that is when they will choose to separate from you. They will start to move away from you. And then there will come another group of people which will just want to come and tell you what's wrong with you and what you should do and give you unsolicited advice. And then there are people on the outside who will just sit there and they will find faults with you. So in every one of these three circumstances, it is all signs. It's showing you the signs, like the road signs. It is all signs leading you to in a particular direction. And that particular direction is leading you to help you to find yourself and your true friends and true relationship with the divine. So you'll notice that when you're going through that emotion of being alone with your back against the wall, no one to support you, no one to understand you, no one to listen to you, that is the perfect time for you to actually listen to your heart, and that is the perfect time for you to listen to your personal dialogue with God. That is the best time and the only time you'll actually find God in your personal relationship with Him. So it is the best and the greatest opportune moment in your life to go through the biggest transition and transformation. And I've been meditating on this for almost 24 hours now. And so much so that I feel that each and every one of us remembers this lesson, that you will have no problem seeing the divine interventions in your life. Because before, when the divine tried to intervene in your life, you had so many other friends, so many other obstacles that you were not able to have a direct communication with, and so many other priorities in life. And this shock that you get when everything around you, your foundation is being shifted and is moving, the earth is moving underneath your feet, that is the best time to sit with yourself and smile at your beautiful self and say, hey, now I can find me and I can find God within me. The mind will give you a million options, and one of those options is to blame everybody in your life and everyone around you. And then eventually we start to blame God. And then when that doesn't work out, then we start to say, I think it's my destiny. So this has been my meditation for the last 24 hours, and I have been praying because it is the duty of a yogi, it is the duty of a sage. This is the best time where the sages have to come and stand with the person, hold their hands, give them their shoulder to cry on, and be accessible to somehow hold that person so that that person can have the best lessons for them
Então,
to learn in life. And early this morning, I got a text from this person, the most beautiful, uh, teary text that I read, which is, okay, I surrender. I surrender, God. Please take control of my life. And when I read this, I was almost in tears because this is the best place to be, like to accept life, whatever comes. The divine will only give us what we can handle and will not give us what we cannot handle. So I was so happy to get this text message because this means that you finally accept and you surrender to the divine. Things will happen in your life, whether you like it or not. Karmic cycles are going to take function. Material energy is going to work. But to be able to accept what is happening in our life and to surrender to life and the divine plan in our life, that is the true character of a yogi. So there's a very beautiful story in the Puranas. This is a story of a 5-year-old boy named Dhruva. He was a
vocês
prince and he had a father who had 2 wives, and his stepmother was the favorite to the king. So in front of his stepmother, he tried to go and sit on his father's lap, sitting on the throne. And the stepmother said, my dear child, you have no right to sit on your father's lap or on the throne. You are not born from my womb, so you do not have the right to be the heir to the throne. So this 5-year boy's heart was pierced with the sharpest arrow, and his heart was completely torn and cut to many pieces by the words of his stepmother. So he finally went running to his mother. He was so broken that his mother could not pacify him. So the mother held the 5-year-old in her arms, and the mother explained the following. The mother explained to the 5-year-old boy, he says, my dear child, please understand that everything that we're going through in life, it is due to our previous karma in our previous lives. Please don't fight. Please don't resist. Please don't be angry. This is the law of nature, she explains. That all of this will end. This sadness will disappear and happiness will arise. And everything that you wish for in life will be granted to you. Then the son was pacified. He said, my dear mother, where do I find this person who will fulfill my wishes? And the mother explained that the divine is all pervasive, but I have heard the sages say that he lives in the forest and in the caves, in the mountains. So this boy, he started to run away to the forest to meditate. And as he was walking into the forest, there happens to be a sage who was flying up in the sky. And he noticed this young boy. And he approached the boy and he says, my dear child, where are you going? And the child said, I am looking for God who can fulfill my desires because I am destined to be a great king. I was born in a royal family and I want my destiny now. So this great sage, his name is Narada, he said, my dear child, you know, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of penance, a lot of austerities to manifest your destiny. And you're just a 5-year-old boy. Any animals, you'll be a good meal for the animals in the jungles. You may not even be a mouthful. You're such a tiny baby. But this boy was fixed. And that is all that this sage Narada had to see, was the conviction and the determination that this boy had. So this sage accepted this 5-year-old boy as his student, and he accepted him as a teacher, as his guru. And he guided this young boy to cross all the hurdles and achieve everything he wanted to achieve. So the moral of the story is a little long, but the moral of the story is that the principle of difficulties in life that his mother is explaining, that difficulties of life are the natural courses of action that happens to all living entities in the material world. And every one of the difficulties in our life is simply to get us closer to our relationship with the divine. So in our life, whenever we're facing difficulties, if we drown in our difficulties, that is considered to be in the mode of passion and ignorance, then we dig ourselves darker and darker into what in America we call it a rabbit hole. And so therefore, we see the mother knows that she is helpless and she accepts her destiny. And she is teaching the son that, I am currently helpless as the second queen, but this is what the solution is. So the mother guides the child as the first teacher, and then the child finds the second teacher who guides him even further, and finally he has success in the world. So therefore, whenever we're facing difficulties, we have to take shelter of teachers, people who can shed proper light into the problems so we can see things better, and then we can move forward. So the step one is to look into your heart and trying to find out who you are in that situation, because now that everyone has left you. And the second step is to seek help from a teacher who can see your potential and see the goodness in you and see the light in you and fan that spark. And the third point is to remain in yourself without taking any big steps in your life. No big steps, just small steps in your life, especially when there's no support, there's no foundation, no one is around. So you take small steps so you can eventually get to your goal in life. So those are the 3 steps I was thinking yesterday when I was thinking about this particular situation. And of course, I would say the 4th step is to really make sure that you really get deep into your sadhana, because that is going to give you full access to your divine self.
Can I answer something?
Yes.
Can I share?
Yes.
What I do when I don't have the time, or sometimes, I don't sleep well, I'm too tired, I just listen to the mantra when I'm in the bathroom. I'm just chanting Hare Krishna in the bathroom and having a shower and just putting it and chanting it. And this shifts your energy. You're in different energy immediately. And then before going to bed, I just put the mantra. Sometimes I'm just laying down in bed and I'm just listening to the mantra, and then it's shifting everything. And then you don't go down so deeply, maybe sometimes you don't feel that good or you're tired or whatever, but just with the mantra, your energy keeps, you keep your energy at the same level, which is very good, very high vibration, just by chanting the mantra. That's my experience, and that's what I do. So
That's beautiful because I was just going to recommend that.
Okay.
I tell people if you don't have time while you're cooking, play some meditation. While you're taking a shower, getting dressed, even while you're using the toilet, just have the mantra meditation going on in your room all the time. It'll keep you lifted. I have a habit that I have been practicing for a while is I sleep with a special guided meditation. You know, it's very beautiful discussions and narrations of stories from the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, from the different Puranas, Upanishads. So I sleep with that, I wake up with that, I shower with meditation, I use, brush my teeth with meditation, I eat with meditation, and then, of course, I spend 5 hours of sadhana every day. But in addition to this 5 hours, I do this. So my consciousness is always on one thing. It's always going to be high. I don't want my consciousness to go down at all. So this is something that I really like how you put it because it's your personal experience, Lakshmi, and it works.
It works, and at one point you don't want to go down because you don't want to feel bad. So it just, maintain this kind of level, uplifting everything. And also when you get, very bad thoughts or, I mean, sometimes not depressive, but negative thoughts, then I'm trying just to change it and putting the mantra, just change the thoughts I have. So yeah, it's a discipline. I mean, and it's nice, it's beautiful, it's giving you a lot of joy and happiness. So connecting to God at the same time, to Krishna, which is beautiful.
Yes, it's a struggle. Life is not easy when we are constantly bombarded with obstacles that are going to be in and around our surroundings. And when it gets a little too much, that is when we have to pause our life. And our primary focus has to be our mental health, physical health, and that is addressed simply by sleeping properly and eating well and meditation. I mean, this is something that Ayurveda recommends. This is something that the sages recommend. And even if you don't want to meditate, but have meditative music playing all around you, I'm thinking to create some meditative sleep music for all of you. So I'll be going to Bulgaria and I'll be creating some very special music tones so it can take you the brain waves to calm down so you can sleep, because sleep is the most important medication for your mental and physical well-being. If you are not sleeping, please understand that it's only a matter of time. It is going to catch up with you. And every day, please take a journal and write down at least 10 things that is going right in your life. Not just listing, don't list it. You have to describe it. Say, for example, something that's going right in your life is that your children and you have an amazing relationship, loving relationship. So you please write in detail how is that right and what is right about that relationship. I can assure you that if you write everything that is going right in your life, minimum 10, and you must do this every day, then what will happen is all your problems will become very, very small, and everything beautiful in your life will become bigger and bigger. Your problems will become smaller and smaller. Because the mind magnifies the problem and the intelligence make it rational, and the heart makes it unconditioned. So whenever you're having this kind of situations, best thing is to write. Write all the options you have. And after you write, say for example, one of the options is sell everything and move to the Caribbean islands and live happily ever after. Okay? The questions we have to ask to our various different options is, step one, the question is, how will this serve my purpose in life? So you
Donc,
look at all the options and then you see, how will this serve purpose in my life? That
et donc,
is the second level of journaling. So that gives you a little bit more clarity, but it's so important to write, because as soon as the mind is left alone, oh my God, it's like it just compounds and makes it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's so big you feel like, you just want to be a little insect or crawl under a rock, because the mind has magnified all our problems. But when you write down all the options and everything, and how is this option going to serve the purpose of my life? And in your life, you have family, so that is your life, not just you. You cannot just think of you as your life. You have beautiful children who are transcendental gifts from God. You didn't create them, they were placed in your life. So they are part of your life. So when you make the the journaling practice, you have to keep that into account.